What is up, guys? It is AJ, and we are talking about the fight between Curtis Blaydes and Derrick Lewis. It's a big heavyweight matchup, title implications. Definitely the winner will find themselves as a top contender, but John Jones is going to be cutting the line after Francis gets his shot. So I would say the winner of this fight will probably need one more at least before they get a title shot. If it's Curtis, definitely one more. If it's Derrick, it could potentially be two more because he does have a title shot that he had against against Daniel Cormier a couple years ago, and he did lose that fight fairly dominantly. Granted, has been able to put some wins together, 3 straight, even though not the most dominant. In his last fight, he did look good stopping Alessio Linick. Curtis Blaydes, 4 dominant wins. Tough fight against Alexander Volkov, who's emerged as a top contender in his last bout, won that fight by a decision, but he was able to dominate and control. His most damage he took was probably in that last round when Volkov started defending the takedowns. That's a fight potentially we may end up seeing again someday, and I would like to see it, but Curtis Blaydes just so good with his wrestling, and when he gets on top is so dominant. Credit to Volkov for going the 5 rounds, because not many fighters have been able to do it. We saw what Curtis Blaydes did to Junior Dos Santos, the destruction that he put on Alistair Overeem, and now he takes on Derrick Lewis, a guy who's always struggled with wrestlers. You look at his close fights that he's had recently, those against wrestlers, Ilir Latifi, some people thought won that fight. Obviously, you look back at Daniel Cormier, was able to take him down and dominate, and now Curtis Blaydes will look to do the same thing. If I'm Curtis, I'm looking to set up a takedown almost immediately, or at least clinch up, because if Derrick Lewis lands a big punch, he can knock anyone out. I don't think the likelihood of Derrick Lewis knocking out Curtis Blaydes is high here, especially if Curtis doesn't try to stand with him, which I don't think he will. I think the possibility of him standing up and striking with Derrick Lewis is pretty much zero. I think he's going to maybe potentially bait him on early, make it look like he's maybe going to strike. Derrick Lewis overextends a bit, steps out of position, boom, takedown, and then Curtis Blaydes is going to do his work from the top. I think we're looking at a victory for Curtis. I could potentially see a TKO, probably around the 2nd or 3rd. It's going to be a lot of grappling control. Probably won't be the most entertaining fight of all time, to be honest with you guys. It's going to be heavy grappling. Hopefully we get to see good ground and pound, though. But Derrick Lewis is not an easy guy to beat up on the ground. Even though you're able to get dominant position, he's very strong. He's not the most technical off his back, but he's very strong, and he does weird moves that get him back up to his feet. I do think Curtis maintains dominant position, probably dominates this fight throughout, and maybe a 3rd or 2nd round stoppage win by TKO is possible here, but could also see 5 rounds. It really depends how long Derrick Lewis is able to last in there with that constant grappling attack, how fatigued he gets. And if Derrick Lewis gets really tired, then I see Curtis Blaydes having a serious chance of stopping the fight. But I do see Curtis getting the win, high likelihood. If Derrick Lewis is to win, it's going to be by a big punch that lands and knocks him out. It's not going to be a dominant performance. I think very unlikely Derrick Lewis stops the majority of Curtis Blaydes' takedowns. He might stop a couple, but I think that Derrick Lewis is going to be put on his back in this fight and dominated here. Decision victory for Curtis Blaydes is possible. TKO is possible, but I see Curtis Blaydes winning, and realistically, 3 rounds or less is definitely a solid pick. And that's what I'm going to predict. 3 rounds or less for Curtis Blaydes, most likely a TKO. I see unlikely he gets a submission. He's not really a big submission artist. He's a ground and pound guy. He's a guy that weathers and dominates you and beats you down over the course of the fight, and I think he does that here to Derrick Lewis. Now, as far as the betting odds for this fight do go, minus 430 favorite to the plus 345 underdog. We know who the favorite is. It's Curtis Blaydes at minus 430. Derrick Lewis at the plus 345. I don't think it's worth a bet. I don't think it's high likelihood. Of course, the puncher's chance will always be there for Derrick Lewis. He's a knockout artist, but I don't think he's looked great in his past 3. I mean, granted, he did look pretty good against Oleinik, but his prior 2 to that, against grapplers, especially that fight with Ilir Latifi, Blagoy Ivanov, fights that he had a bit of trouble. They were a bit competitive and could have gone either way. They were very close on the scorecards. I am riding with a Curtis Blaydes victory. He gets it done. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and I will see you all in the next video.